Stop for a moment before refueling, because what most drivers do right before pumping gas is quietly destroying their fuel system, wrecking sensors, and even increasing the risk of a fuel vapor explosion. The shocking truth: over 90% of drivers make the same mistake every week, thinking they're saving time or protecting their engine, but in reality, they're shortening their car's lifespan by tens of thousands of miles. Let's take a closer look at the top 5 mistakes and see if you've ever fallen into them. Putting the wrong type of fuel in your car is one of those mistakes that makes your vehicle cry in silence, and most drivers do it without even realizing it. Let's be honest, many people have the habit of pulling up to a gas station, seeing the cheapest price, and filling the tank without checking which fuel type is actually appropriate for their car. Sounds reasonable, right? Gas is gas, just fill it up. Especially for older or standard cars, many think this harmless act does no damage, but the harsh truth is that what seems harmless is quietly destroying the mechanical heart of your vehicle. The first and most noticeable consequence is reduced engine performance. You might be surprised to find your car suddenly consuming more fuel than usual, jerking, or making strange noises when accelerating. Your car wasn't designed to adapt to the type of fuel you're daring it to use. You think you're saving a few bucks, but in reality, you're making your car run poorly, spending more trips at the pump, and enduring extra jerks each time you hit the gas, as if your car is silently complaining about your poor choice. But that's not all. If you go further, using the wrong fuel can cause serious engine damage. Diesel in a gasoline car? Brace yourself to watch fuel injectors, pistons, cylinders turn into useless toys. Gasoline in a diesel car? Get ready for an immediate engine blow-up and a repair bill that will leave you stunned. And those repair costs? Not cheap. Anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the extent of the damage. Fortunately, this mistake is entirely avoidable with a few very simple steps. First, always check your owner's manual to know the correct fuel type. Don't let yourself become an adventurer experimenting with cheap gas. Next, pay attention to the octane rating on the pump and make sure the fuel you choose fully matches your car's requirements. Octane rating, also called RON or AKI, is something you need to understand before pumping gas. Basically, octane measures a fuel's resistance to knocking. Cars with high compression engines, like sports cars or turbocharged vehicles, require higher octane fuel to prevent engine knocking. Using fuel with lower octane than recommended? Prepare for jerks, reduced power, and potentially long-term engine damage. Using higher octane fuel than necessary? Don't expect improved performance, you're just wasting money. Standard cars usually only need 87 AKI, or regular, while sports or turbo engines may require 91-93 AKI, so-called premium. Keep in mind, don't mix multiple fuel types in the same tank unless the manufacturer allows it. And if your car needs premium fuel or diesel, don't risk using a cheaper alternative just to save a few dollars. The real value: smoother operation, longer engine life, and no crying wallet over repair bills. In short, using the wrong type of fuel is one of the most common and dangerous mistakes most American drivers make. A simple habit like checking the fuel type before refueling can save your car from serious damage and protect your budget. Don't let a few dollars saved turn into thousands in repair bills, and don't let your beloved car cry because of a moment of laziness or carelessness. Only refueling when the fuel gauge is near E, which means empty. Have you ever heard this advice? Many people consider it a habit because they want to save a few dollars, squeeze out every last drop of gas, or simply forget to fill up earlier. It sounds harmless, but the truth is, this so-called money-saving habit is quietly destroying your car's fuel system. When you let the tank get low, your car has to draw fuel from the very bottom, where dirt, rust, and other debris have settled after multiple uses. These tiny particles are far from harmless. They can clog the fuel filter, damage the injectors, and make the engine run less smoothly. Imagine the frustration of an electronic fuel pump, the heart of a modern fuel system, having to work thirsty without fuel around to keep it cool. The result? Overheating, drastically reduced lifespan. Bosch has confirmed that running consistently below 1.4 tank can cause pumps to fail 60% faster. On top of that, your engine will react by jerking, consuming more fuel, and you'll wonder why your driving experience suddenly feels so bad. So why do so many people make this mistake? Part of it is old habits. If I let the tank get low, I save money. Another part is blind trust in the distance to empty gauge on the dashboard. But remember, that's only an estimate, which can be off by 10-20 km. Very few realize that running below 1 or 4 tank means the pump and the entire fuel system are at risk, no matter how smartly you think you're saving money. Fortunately, this mistake can be completely avoided with a few simple steps. Fill up when the tank is around 1 of 4 full to ensure the pump stays cooled and to avoid drawing in debris. Don't rely too heavily on the number on your gauge. Combine it with visual observation and plan your refueling schedule wisely. This habit not only protects the pump and fuel filter, but also prevents vapor lock in hot weather or condensation in cold weather. So don't choose instant savings and forget about the long-term cost your car will pay. If you've ever stood at a gas station under the blazing midday sun, watching the fuel gauge slowly tick up, you probably understand the temptation. Who wouldn't want to fill up quickly and get back on the road, right? Especially in regions that are hot year-round, this convenience-first habit is practically default for drivers. But this is one of those mistakes that goes largely unnoticed because it seems harmless, yet it's quietly costing you money. The problem lies in a simple physical fact. Fuel expands as the temperature rises. When you pump gas during scorching heat, the fuel in the station's storage tanks has already expanded. The result? You're actually getting less fuel than the amount of money you just paid. Yes, while you're telling yourself, just convenient and quick, your cash is literally evaporating with every gallon. And if this habit repeats, it adds up into a silent expense that makes your wallet hurt without you even realizing it. Fortunately, this mistake doesn't directly damage the engine, but economically, it's brutal. Over time, you'll find yourself refueling more often, consuming fuel faster, and getting frustrated because you don't understand why your gas bills keep rising. It's a classic case of ignore the small details, pay the big price, something we've all been guilty of at some point. The solution is extremely simple. Just refuel in the early morning or late evening when the temperature is cooler, and you'll get the correct amount of fuel you paid for. Scheduling regular refueling times not only maximizes the value of your money, but also makes this habit part of a smart saving strategy. And of course, combine this with choosing reputable stations to avoid water or debris in the fuel, and you're truly protecting both your car and your wallet. In short, refueling during the heat of the day is a common mistake that many American drivers make, and it quietly means you're spending money without getting enough fuel. Just a little thought and choosing the right time can save you a significant amount. Ensure you actually get the fuel you pay for and maintain long-term fuel efficiency. Indeed, a few minutes of thinking before pumping gas can save you from the silent theft your money has been enduring. Let's be honest, many American drivers only care about how much gas is left in the tank, but never pay attention to their car's actual fuel consumption. The car's running, so what's the problem? We're willing to bet that's something many people, maybe even you, have said. This seemingly harmless habit is actually an open invitation for trouble. Your car could be quietly drinking more fuel than usual, and you, with astonishing negligence, have no idea. The consequences? Just a chain of prolonged economic and mechanical headaches. When you ignore MPG tracking, small issues like underinflated tires, uneven tire pressure, or worn-out spark plugs go unnoticed. The result? Wasted fuel, a sluggish engine, and a driving experience that turns into an annoying jerk fest every time you hit the accelerator. Not to mention, low-quality fuel can clog injectors, reduce efficiency, and turn your beloved car into a money-draining machine. But the worst part? Skyrocketing operating costs. When your car consumes more fuel than normal without you noticing, your monthly budget naturally rises, and any damage related to the fuel system or engine will leave you staring wide-eyed at a garage bill. All because you didn't track your MPG or perform routine checks on tires, spark plugs, or the fuel filter. Negligence might just be the biggest enemy out there. Many drivers think that if the dashboard doesn't flash a warning, everything must be fine. Failing to log fuel consumption after each tank or skipping regular maintenance is like hiding a poison inside your own car. You're not guilty of this habit, are you? If you are, don't worry. We've got a solution. Simply do the opposite of what you've been doing. Monitor your MPG regularly, record fuel consumption after each trip, and compare it with manufacturer's standards to spot anomalies. Check components that directly affect fuel: tires, spark plugs, fuel filter, and injectors, and react promptly if consumption exceeds normal levels. Doing this not only saves fuel, but also maintains optimal performance, prevents serious damage, and most importantly, keeps your wallet from quietly bleeding. A little attention, a little discipline, and you'll not only protect your car, but also save a significant amount of money while turning your driving experience from not good into smooth and enjoyable. Don't let negligence turn your beloved car into an expensive machine nobody wants. This scene is probably familiar to many. It's cold, it's pouring rain, and you decide to get comfortable by sitting in the driver's seat while pumping gas. Sounds reasonable, right? Who wouldn't want to stay warm and dry in a torrential downpour? In reality, this seemingly harmless behavior is one of the most common but extremely dangerous mistakes at the gas station, and you definitely don't want to be the one testing it. When you get in and out of the car, your body accidentally accumulates a significant amount of static electricity. Clothes rubbing against the seat generate friction, building up a charge, and you have no idea that you've just become a tiny time bomb. If your hand touches the gas nozzle at that moment, a tiny spark could form, and with just a little fuel vapor in the air, the result is not just a shock, it's a real fire hazard. Gasoline is extremely flammable, and even a seemingly harmless spark can turn a familiar gas station into chaos. The risk doesn't stop with you. A small fire can spread, injuring others and causing significant property damage. Even in normal weather, if you're wearing synthetic clothing prone to static, the danger remains. In other words, getting in and out of your car while refueling is a gamble you don't want to play. See, ignorance of static electricity's effects when near fuel and ignoring gas station safety warnings can cost you dearly if you don't change your habits today. Next time you stop at a gas station, stay outside the vehicle for the entire refueling process. No getting in, no sitting in the driver's seat until the tank is full. Also, before touching the nozzle, touch a metal part of your car to discharge static safely to the ground and minimize spark risk. If possible, consider your clothing. Opt for cotton or low-static fabrics, and avoid synthetic materials prone to static buildup. Let's face the truth. Up to 99% of drivers make at least one of these 5 dangerous mistakes when refueling: using the wrong fuel, waiting until the tank is almost empty, filling up during the heat of the day, ignoring fuel consumption, or getting in and out of the car while pumping gas. These seemingly harmless habits are quietly torturing your car and draining your wallet without you even realizing it. Don't become one of that 99%. Apply these simple tips every time you refuel. Check the fuel type, fill up a little earlier, choose a cooler time of day, monitor fuel consumption, and stay outside the car to protect your vehicle, save money, and avoid unnecessary risks. Remember, refueling may seem simple, but just one correct habit can extend your car's lifespan, keep it running smoothly, and, most importantly, ensure the safety of you and your family every time you hit the road. A few small steps, but their value, both financially and for peace of mind, is far greater than you might think. Have you noticed any of these mistakes in yourself or the people around you? If so, don't hesitate to share your experience in the comments below. Lastly, notice that the content in this video is based on publicly available information, vehicle manuals, and automotive studies. It is intended for educational and informational purposes only, not to promote any specific brand or product. Viewers should always cross-check information, follow manufacturer recommendations, and make their own informed decisions when it comes to vehicle maintenance. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.